In this lesson, we'll cover match lines. Match line is a dashed line on an architectural plan that designates there's a break, meaning you're going to actually break the model into separate views to display on a sheet, because maybe the actual floor plan for that model is too large to view on one sheet. So if we look at the Revit model we currently see in this floor plan, it's a fairly large building. And if I zoom in, I'm going to see amongst the actual grid lines, two dashed lines. I'll hover over those right now. These are actually match lines. I'm going to go ahead and click on them so you can actually see them in a different color when you go into edit mode. The two magenta lines now are basically the match line. It's basically just a designator stating that when this building is split up in a view, what I mean by that is the views are just cropped. The building technically isn't split physically. So there would be three views created from this one view. You can duplicate the views, you can duplicate with detailing, or make them all as dependent. But you'd end up with three views. And the match lines would designate where the view, or in this case the model, is split for the three views. Now to see this, if I look at one of my plans, and what we did is we created an actual view of this top wing as a dependent or a duplicate of this view. So if I look at my list of views in the browser on the lower left, I'm going to see a plan called O2 Floor North Wing. It's derived from this floor plan, but when I go to this, I'll see it's basically just a cropped view. And if I display my crop box, I can see here's the crop box of the view, and if I zoom out and I turn off the crop, you can see the rest of the actual model. And not displaying the crop box will take us back to what it originally looked like. Go ahead and close this view. So I can see that is of this small section of the very top of the building, the north wing, if you will. Now, how it's actually displayed is on a sheet. So if I scroll down in the project browser in the lower left down to Sheets, and then I double-click S-1.0 under Plans for my sheets, I can see here's an architectural sheet layout for my structural elements. And this view in the upper left is actually the view for that one I just showed that's cropped. And I can see the match line that's in this view. When I zoom in, I'll actually see that. So how do we go about creating a match line then? Well, let's close this sheet and go back to the plan view. Now let's say I want to place a match line vertically through the end of this building because we want to split it apart into multiple views, as an example. So to create a match line, go to your View tab on the ribbon, and then in the Sheet Composition panel, the very top rightmost icon is Match Line. The little pictorial shows you drawing a match line through a building and then being able to split that view off on your sheet. So click Match Line. Now in the Draw area of the panel on the right, you have two options: to draw lines for a match line or select lines that exist already, such as a grid line or a level line. If I'm choosing Draw, it's just a basic drawing a line by clicking points. So I'll click a point, drag my mouse to where I want the match line to stop, and click another point, and really I'm done at this point. I can click Escape to end the line segment and now draw another segment if I want to draw another match line. Or if I'm done altogether creating this match line, just click the green check mark on the ribbon. This will then create that match line, and I could see it here within my view, and I can hover over that. The next step would be to duplicate this view, either with detailing, without detailing, or as a dependent, and then crop that view to only show the elements to the right or the left of that match line. And then lastly, you would take those views and place them on your sheet accordingly to how you want that layout to look. So as a review, in this lesson we talked about match lines. We discussed that a match line is actually a line representing where you would split the physical model into multiple views to display them on a sheet more accurately. You don't really split the model, it's just a line representing where two views would come together, or where the large view would be split into smaller views. So to create a match line, we just drew a match line on our model, and then the next step would be to duplicate a view, crop those views, and the last step would be placing the cropped views on your sheet.